We're actually pretty lucky to be here this morning. We had we could have lost everything, including our lives last night.
Hey, where have you guys been?
Good to see you guys again. Hey, home on the hitch. Where have you been?
Thought y'all disappeared.
Honestly, there were days where we wondered the same thing. The truth is, life didn't stop, it just got busy. Night shifts, long days, saying goodbye to Honey, a new puppy, trying to find our rhythm again. And somewhere in all of that, I just kept waiting. I kept waiting until life felt exciting enough to pick up the camera again. Then one day I realized maybe this is the story. Because this journey, our journey, has never just been about the places. It's been about the people, the memories, the hard seasons, the beautiful seasons, and everything in between.
I smelled a little something last night, just a passing whim of something odd that I had never smelled in the RV. Melissa didn't smell anything. We went on to bed about 11 o'clock. When we got up at 7, I smelled it really, really strong. And just in my head, I was like, that is burning plastic, or it smells electrical. Not comfortable with that smell at all. And when I opened the cabinet that the transfer switches are in that run the shore power through, and the inverter and the generator are automatic transfer switches, it hit me in the face like a ton of bricks, and you could feel the heat coming off the transfer switch. So I pulled the cover off of those, and this is what I found. One of the connections, I don't know whether the connection rattled loose during travel. These have been in here for 3.5 years. And I don't know if one of the connections rattled loose and created the resistance that caused us to overheat and happen, but it's by the grace of God that thing did not burst into flames last night and burn us to the ground in this RV. So had to shut everything off, shut the ACs off, which is unfortunate because it was extremely hot. Pull all the transfer switch wiring. The transfer switches are still in there. There's just no power going through them. And run the shore power straight back into the panel like it was from the factory. We'll probably just upgrade our setup after we leave the keys here. We're not going to be doing any boondocking. We'll probably just upgrade to a Victron Multi-Plus 2, because I'm not going to go back with that same brand or any transfer switch like that. I just don't trust them at this point. Wow. So lucky to be here. I'm dirty and sleepy. Okay, let's go see how this little baby dog is doing. Hello. Hi. Hello. Yes, Daddy's gonna get you. I see you. And this little girl right here is Lulu. I gotta be real quiet, so I can't talk too loud because she is a terrorist. No, this is Lulu. She's a new addition for us here, home on the hitch. Any of you guys that have been following us for a while know that last September we had to put Honey down, and that was a big thing for us. That was a heartbreaking thing, and we really didn't know if we were going to get another dog. Did we want to go through it? We were so absolutely heartbroken when we lost Honey, because she was pretty much our ride or die. She had gone with us everywhere, Texas, anywhere we had ever gone, in any RV we ever had, Honey was with us. You know, it really kind of hit us pretty hard, and being in the RV and traveling was kind of difficult after we had to put her down because this was her place. But alas, this young lady came into our lives, and the opportunity really just presented itself to us. So we took that as a sign. We weren't actively kind of looking, but the opportunity to adopt her came up. And we did, and she is now, I think, 15, 16 weeks maybe, and we got her when she was about 12 weeks, so she's doing wonderful, but she is a terrorist. I tell you, we have decided, we don't want another puppy to go through puppy phase. I think if we get another one, we'll try to find one that has been taken care of, you know, but that's like a year old or maybe a little older than that, because this puppy phase is so disruptive to everything, and it's really hard with me working night shift and then having to come in and trying to sleep. And Melissa, luckily, Lulu here is the office dog, and so on those days, everybody here loves Lulu. She gets to go to work with Mel and hangs out in the office on the days that I'm trying to sleep during the day, most of the time. Sometimes that can't happen, and that's a rough day for me, trying to work all night, stay up all day, and then work all night again. But yeah, that is our little Lulu, and she is beautiful. So you'll be seeing a lot more of her in the coming days here on Home on the Hitch. So yeah, it's been a minute since we picked up the camera to hit record here on Home on the Hitch, but welcome back. We are here today with an update. So where have we been? Well, we've been here in the Florida Keys, just trying to get through the challenges that come with living in your RV full-time here in the Florida Keys, and there are a lot of them. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful place. It's also very hot in the summertime, humid, mosquitoes, rust, UV on everything you own. So there's a lot of things that go into living down here. And plus, you got to remember, you've been following the channel for a long time, we don't just RV, we work and we live, and we're still working jobs and trying to make life happen. So the UV down here is just a different story, man. We're used to it being hot at home in the hundreds. We live north in Atlanta, and in the summertime is an oven. It's Hell's Kitchen, you know. But it's the same down here. Less of a season change, but the humidity and the UV index down here is so different. You can sunburn in an instant down here, like immediately. So what have we got going on? I gotta move over here because the sun's burning my feet. Well, if you've been following along, we were over there last video, or the video before that, over in that far corner over there, but we had talked about having to move, or planning on moving, because of king tide. Now, king tide is just a really high tide that comes in September for 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know, we've never experienced it before, but everybody down here says that this side of the park over here basically floods with king tide for 3-4 hours a day, and floods all the way up to those sites, kind of comes in, you know, that way. We didn't want the ocean water coming up underneath our rig, so we had to move over here, which we did. But that means we have to get everything pulled up and get set up over here again. Now, luckily, that went pretty smooth. So here's our spot over here. Basically, we did find some turf pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace, which is a good thing. It's really expensive down here. But we've got this whole area of turf covering the coral rock that they use around here. Nice place for little dog to go to the bathroom. It just keeps everything kind of clean. You can come out here, although you can feel the gravel still on your feet. It's nice. You can come out here and walk in bare feet. We got our nice furniture out here, our canopy. This one I think will be changing. It's really not made to withstand the wind that we have down here, but we'll see how long it lasts. And we have another one under there that is still waiting for us. So we've got a nice little setup, but it's usually so uncomfortable outside, either with the mosquitoes or the heat, that you don't want to come out and do anything. And really, if we're not out on the water with one of our friends on the boat at the sandbar or something like that. We want to be inside until it's super late. And then when it gets super late in the evening, it's when the mosquitoes come out. So we've had to do a few things to mitigate the heat, or do our best to mitigate the heat. If you've lived anywhere hot in an RV or stayed anywhere hot in an RV where the sun's out, you know what I'm talking about. The air conditioning runs nonstop all the time. So what we had to do first is we have Reflectex inside on every orifice, opening, crack, even in the bedroom, around the walls behind the bed, to add some extra insulation. And that has all helped tremendously. There is such a difference between having the Reflectex up in everything. We've got it on everything. We've got it covering the skylights. We've got it in the door window as well. On the door, we have really heavy, thick curtains. You can see those when we open the door that keep the draft from in and out. And you can, when you pass through that curtain, you can feel a default like heat cold. That is one of the biggest things, and one of the easiest ways to lose a lot of cold air is when you open your RV door, it just rushes out and the heat rushes in. So that helps mitigate that some. A problem that I personally have is right now, I'm unfortunately, part of the reason that we've been missing for a little while is I'm having to work night shift. And if you watch the channel for any time, length of time, you know that I despise working night shift because it ruins everything else for me. It messes with my mental health. I feel tired all the time. I don't want to do anything, and it makes me just quite unhappy. So hopefully in a few months that's going to be changing. We'll see. We'll talk more about that later, but I have to sleep during the day. So we have to be able to keep the RV at a decent temperature in the heat of the day, 2 to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I can sleep. But we've been able to accomplish that with the door and the Reflectex, and I've cleaned the ACs every month and a half, 2 months. Get up there, clean out the coils, make sure the filters are all clean. We've done pretty well, and I have no complaints. Something we are going to look at is the Shade RV, and I think next week or the week after. But I'll put a picture of it up there. It's going to be right up there, and it offers a shade, a UV shade for the roof of the RV, and it's going to keep the direct sunlight off of the top of the RV and off of the air conditioners. Just like right here where you've got sun and shade, there is so much of a difference in feel with my foot here to here that it's cool, it's hot. So it's not going to keep the air around it from being hot. It's still going to be hot during the day. If you can keep the direct sunlight off of the roof, it's got to help prevent the heating up of the ductwork for the ACs. I know that the AC is losing a lot of cold air or is having to work extra hard because the sun, our ductwork runs in the ceiling. And this unit in the back here, our main unit, is ducted only. So that's the only way we get air. It's gotta help. What's gotta help? Anyway, I'll have a picture up of that, and we're gonna do a video of the install and let you know how that goes. But all in all, we're doing okay. So that's gonna do it. That's our catch up, man. We got a lot going on and had a stressful, very stressful morning this morning. So we're thankful to the Lord above to be here. God bless each and every one of you. We love you guys. So stick around, join us next week for another video about RV living in the Keys. I'm gonna order the Shade RV for the roof because we're gonna get that put on, see if we can decrease the radiant heat. There is a, between the Shade and, right down here, the Shade and the sun, I measured it yesterday with my laser thermometer, 60-degree temperature change, 60-degree temperature change. So hopefully the Shade on the roof is going to allow us to have a little bit less radiant heating and help the ACs cool a little bit better. So stick around till next week. We love you guys. Take care of each other and love each other. Make every moment count.